Morning all. So, looked like some interop was achieved over the weekend, which is very cool. Exciting to hear. Maybe we could start off with client updates and get a little update on where we're at with things. Yeah, Zeem team, you want to start?
Yeah, I will. Thanks for giving the mic. So yes, we Interop over the weekend. So we Reem, Qlin, and Lantern, right? So we all were able to achieve DevNet one. I'm not sure whether the ones that that we pushed on top of that, for example, SSZ signatures and changing a bit of format uh, for the validator manifest. So basically hash sig CLI. So apart from that, I think all the clients are on the same page, and we can basically plan a long running DevNet maybe this week, and we can start working for DevNet 2.
Awesome. Thanks, Gadgeter. Reem.
Yeah, so the past week was mostly about DevNet 1 Interop. So congratulations everyone, all the teams for achieving that. I personally like the 24/7 like fixing the DevNet 1 issues basically like across all time zones. So that was fun. Um, and apart from that, we also the past week we fully integrated the fork choice test vectors. They are all passing without having to do any like fix to the logic. So that's great. We are gonna be doing the integration for the state transition test vectors coming up next. I'm also personally trying to scale up the validators on a single machine and see how many validators we can actually afford. Um, See how like the PQ signatures are actually taking up the like CPU and memory and other hardware resources. But obviously, like I'm not testing the networking because it's a single machine, which it's an open question right now. But yeah, that's update from me.
Thanks, Hope. Lantern.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Will. So yeah, this week submitted the PR to Lean Quick Start for adding Lantern into the client mix. Based on my local testing, like the chain was able to finalize and justify when trying to interop with other clients for DevNet 1. So I really appreciate the Zeem team for merging that. Um, I did notice that when you basically run Lantern for like 5 or 10 minutes, or sometimes it will just end up disconnecting with Zeem. So I'm just basically trying to investigate why that is happening. But connection seems stable with the other clients. Um, and I guess at the moment, when you run lean quick start, it will basically clone the repo and then as well as the Git submodules and then build a Docker image. So I'm just basically trying to set up a workflow where it builds a Docker image that can run on multiple platforms rather than having to clone the repo every time. But yeah, I'm basically just investigating these small little cleanups to add. But yep, and as well as I'll be looking at adding support for DevNet 2 specs as a next step. But yeah, that's my update. Thanks.
Thanks, Mayor. Clean.
Yep. Hey everyone. Uh, yeah, I think as yeah, most of yeah, as was reported, yeah, we achieved the interop with others during the past week. Yeah, besides that, yeah, once we achieved this, also started doing some additional work, for example, like we also curious kind of from networking perspective, like how many nodes we can support in our network. And for that purpose, we a little bit updated also clean so that because it's kind of very it's a bit inconvenient with existing signatures to kind of generate 1,000 signatures, for example. So we just created a mode in clean where we can basically use fake signatures, not real ones, but still, other than that, they are DevNet 1 compatible from the structure perspective, from everything else. So yeah, basically, and after that, we started doing some digging in Shadow. We were able to kind of spin up a network of 128 nodes. The simulation is a bit slow. Just writing some small Python scripts to kind of just create some CDF graphics, like how block propagation is working, vote propagation is working, and everything like that. Yes, besides that, there was some not very noticeable but significant work from Docker image perspective. So we kind of a bit simplified the process so that it's actually even able to create all Docker images just using GitHub, just default free GitHub runners. So yeah, and I believe that's all. Yeah, maybe I missed something. So yeah, that's all from our side. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Camille. Anyone from Lighthouse? Looking around, Lighthouse or Grandine? Okay. Cool. That might be it for client updates. I see there's a number of discussion topics in the comments below. I know that there's sort of a focus maybe on metrics. We've got 2 open PRs waiting to be merged, I believe. Lean metrics PR 6 and 7. And maybe we could talk about those right now. I don't know, Katya or O, I believe you added these comments.
Yes, hello everyone. So I'm happy that metrics are in progress and in work, and the clients started to use the dashboard. So here's where we need to discuss how we are going to follow the same JSON file, because when clients have different Grafana versions, we may have some differences between the dashboards. Even small versions, like for example 0.1 or 0.0, may give differences in the JSON file, because Grafana often changes a little bit something, it's not an issue for me to merge these PRs, just to inform you that it might happen, and you can see small differences. Probably we can agree on one Grafana version and update our versions for consistency currently. We may discuss in the chat or here. This is regarding the dashboard itself. I would like to know who from which clients already use Grafana dashboard and JSON file, and which are not yet. So I know that Dream actively uses it. Maybe any other clients? If not, that's okay. Just join us. Feel free to join us as well. So there is an open PR about the new metrics signatures. I don't know if Anna's here, so probably we can discuss, do we need a signature byte size, and to hear other opinions. on the dashboard?
Yeah, I can give an overview about the number six. So it's pretty straightforward. So we are only signing attestation right now. And the metrics I proposed there is just basically measure the attestation signing time and attestation verification time. Um, yeah, so just bringing this forward. I guess like it's straightforward. So unless there is any red flags, any comments, then I propose merging the PR. And regarding the block size, yeah, like I think Camille already mentioned that like the signature size is fixed, so I think we don't need to measure the size exactly. But there remains like the question about like the throughput, especially like with like compression. Maybe we want to measure that, but I'm not so sure if that's actually out of scope of the like the metrics that we are forming right now, because that's at the maybe that's at the networking layer rather than like the application. So I'm not so sure what how to measure that and yeah, the tools that we need to use.
So regarding the PR6, for me it looks good. If we are not going to add any other metrics, I can merge it. If there are no any other additions to it. Regarding the throughput, it's kind of a networking layer. What we can do now, we can try to measure the gossip sub messages, like byte size of gossip sub messages, inbound and outbound, but we need to take into consideration duplicated messages as well. Probably Gajinder, you know about it a lot. Or someone
Yeah, I
else?
think
Yeah.
it's a good idea to start. I think it's a good idea to start measuring gossip sizes, basically increment them, and that will definitely give us the bandwidth consumption in the Grafana if you do the rate of that. So I think it's a good idea. So we should do that. Apart from that, we also should start integrating ETH Panda Ops tool. I mean, which basically sort of observes and collects other metrics that at what time did all of the nodes in the network they got the block and what was, so all these kind of global network level metrics. So I think we can start looking at that because now it's the time. Basically, we need to observe what is happening on network level and then optimize accordingly.
You mean Zato, right? I can connect with Barnabas and yeah, ask how to do that better. Because probably for this, they need, I guess, like running nodes, like on the on the permanent basis. So they need to run the nodes. So not only locally, but
So basically,
somewhere.
I think they would just have it. So they would have a collector or whatever is there, collecting and processing engine as a service most likely, and we can sort of deploy it, and then all the nodes. I can also focus on Ansible integration so that we can start distributing the nodes through Lean Quick Start and basically not just run it locally and start having an idea of how the network will start looking like. And while we are doing that, we can also start the Zato instance, which can collect the data from all of the nodes and push it into the data pipeline. So yeah, we should start looking at that. And in the meantime, we can also, so there is already Ansible PR. I just need to finalize it. I have had quite three, four, three, four reviews for it, but I need to sort of finalize my review and sort of merge it. But I think we are at a point where we can start looking and start distributing the nodes on the network and start observing metrics network wide.
And I'm going to add the PR with metrics flag because currently I add it manually. So I correct the command which launches every client because some clients have this metric flag specifically. So this is how I see the clients. Just a quick question about to Gajinder. So if PandaOps team should use Link Quick Start, right, for running the nodes?
I think we need to sort of depend on ETH PandaOps. Basically, this is something we can ourselves do it because I don't think they have time as well. So we can take their help in integrating it, but when we are sort of doing interops, we can ourselves, run the infrastructure. We just need machines which we can procure from them. And at some point where things are stable so that we don't waste their time, then basically we can start offloading things to them, because at this point I think they would get frustrated if there are issues that are coming up and we are not at that point where we can basically hand it off to someone else to just run it.
Should we just pin Barnabas in the PQ Interop chat and discuss this topic, or maybe in the Discord? Just for everyone to see.
What exactly is the issue that we want to discuss? Zato integration or to
Yeah.
running the DevNet as well?
Both, like running
Right,
DevNet
so,
is the
yeah, I will,
most important question.
Right. Okay, so we can ask him, we can start involving him. I think he was already involved from the beginning, so he has a good amount of context. We just need to bring him up to speed, but before that, we need to make sure that our infrastructure is stable, because, for example, not all. So I tried running all the clients, and as Mehir mentioned, that there was a disconnection issue. So we need to sort of cover up with that. Also, we need to come to a point where basically we are able to restart the clients, and that is while the network is running. So basically we need to get into a long network running mode from a DevNet mode, where basically each time we have an issue, we restart it to recheck it. So we need to come to that point, and once we are at that point, I think that is a point where we can start involving Barnabas. But we can start to keep him in loop as of now. So yeah, I'll drop him the
thank
message
you.
regarding both the issues.
That makes sense. Camille, wanna add something?
Yeah, just when you were discussing networking metrics, I believe the simplest thing that we can do is just simply using something like node exporter to just simply check things like how many incoming or outgoing bytes coming and incoming, basically from and to the node. That way we don't need to even create any metrics, because this would be to add things like, I don't know, count like things like duplicate in gossip sub, or how many bytes we consume per topic in gossip sub. We would need to, we might even need to make some changes on the P2P level. Which is probably okay, but I'm not aware of any efforts of kind of creating any unified metrics on the P2P level. So just what I'm saying is the simplest thing is just use node exporter. That way we don't even need to introduce any metrics on our client level. We can just do this using some external tool. Thanks.
We can start from this. Just from my experience with working with TL teams, anyway, everyone needs these bandwidth measuring, throughput measuring, so probably we'll come to it later because it's like a bottleneck always. So, and they want to observe it. We can start from your solution. Thank you. Another metric I would like to quickly discuss is just the validators count. So my original idea was to know how many validators attached to every node running. And yesterday we discussed it with REAM team. because they did like the whole number of validators. And for me, it looks like it makes sense to have both. Because currently, for example, we don't have Lantern on the dashboard, so the total number of validators is kind of incorrect. So we may have both. We may see the total number and the number for every node. How do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
Yep, from our side, we do actually implement all the lean metrics that are in the main branch of lean metrics repo. I think, I guess we just need more testing done to make sure those values are correctly incrementing. And I do believe like we have a validator count metric as well in that. But yeah, from our side, we just need more testing done to make sure those values are correctly reflected. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great, but anyways, like it means that we will lose validators if any other unknown, let's say unknown client will join. So we shouldn't rely only on the nodes, like validators attached to nodes, which we know. So the total number of validators, I guess, also is a good metric to have.
So total number of validators is part of configuration and Genesis state as of now. We don't have deposits and withdrawals, so it is going to be a fixed number. Doesn't matter whether a new client joins in or not. So as such, I mean it's fixed, but we can add it. I mean it's sort of no-brainer as well. So
So
I mean
probably
for the
I will just
completeness of dashboard, we can just add it.
yeah, so probably I will just keep it in mind. So whenever we will have withdrawals and etc., all the deposit side, so probably we will just update this part, right?
Right, but any deposit and withdrawal mechanism is going to come very, very late when basically we are going to get hard fork ready and basically say that we want to rebase on beacon consensus and then hard fork, because till that point, I mean, unless it is we want to test some feature in lean consensus, I don't think that basically deposits and withdrawals is something that we will focus on. But that might change depending upon what kind of feature we want to test next on lean consensus.
Is this metric currently important on this level? Because what I can see with this metric is just how many, I don't know, nodes, clients. It's just easy to monitor how many clients I have on the dashboard. So
So
it's not
we
actually.
can add, I mean, it's a no-brainer. So we can add total count, which is basically just picking from state and posting it to the Prometheus, and we can also attach the nodes attached validator. So both of these things are pretty straightforward and sort of no-brainer, and we can just add it.
Okay, thanks. We'll add a PR for this. Yeah, I guess that's it from the metrics side. If anyone wants to add something. My comments to Zim team are in the Zim chat, so please take a look into it. And
Thanks, Katya.
Yeah, so if you're referring about the latest comment that you messaged in the channel, I think the code has moved beyond that, and basically we can talk over there, I guess, and resolve it.
it's just I checked the today's poll. Yeah, I will double check, but yeah, I pulled today, so it's still there. So okay, let's just discuss it in the chat, in the Zim chat.
Great. We've got a discussion topic focused on DevNet 2 and DevNet 3. I want to queue it. Before we do that, is there anything that people want to say, I guess, in retro or in terms of like finalizing DevNet 1 efforts? And thanks again, O, for creating that high-level design doc. I'm now linking. I'm going to try to track all these in this ongoing issue. So that's very helpful.
Just want to add that we still need to run it long enough when once basically Mihir and Zim connection issues are figured out so that we can run all the clients maybe for a day and see everything is going good and then basically close out this issue. In the meantime, we already can start working on DevNet 2.
Awesome. Thanks, Gajner. When do you anticipate that will be able to take place?
So I'll basically have to touch touch back with Mihir on this, and let's try this week, I guess.
Yep. And also I think I would expect that if it takes longer, it wouldn't be a blocker because like the connections are stable with Ream and clean. So, but yeah, I'm just trying the best to investigate it. It's most likely an issue on the quick side. Like the quick connection, it ends up the clients just basically send up ping frames. So one of the streams probably just does it's like stop sending a ping frame and then the connection times out. So yeah, I should probably reach out in a day or two. Yep.
Great.
Yeah, I think so. Basically, the DevNet was progressing with all the clients because, as Mihir mentioned, basically, even with Qlin, even with the Lantern and Zeem not talking, the network was going on fine. Justification and finalization was also happening. So that way, network-wise, it was good. I'm not sure whether we have tracked orphan block metric, and that is something that we should start tracking when such a condition is happening, and maybe if all the blocks are being processed by everyone.
Great. So Colby, I'm going to drop your comment there. I think this would be worth moving on to. So basically, suggesting that DevNet 2 single layer PQ signature aggregation and DevNet 3 recursive signature aggregation feel blocked based on some research that's still ongoing. You have some, maybe we could like sanity check that idea, see what we can do to get it unblocked, and then you had some ideas for other features that could be, uh, I guess, focused on in incremental in between DevNets. Is there anything that you want to say about the comment to kind of tee up this conversation?
Sure. I can say some quick. So, I think single layer like PQ signature aggregation and recursive PQ signature aggregation, I guess we're relying on if I believe like the lean VM is ready or not. I'm not sure if it's ready or not, but if it isn't ready and if there's like still some like research or like breakthroughs we need to do, I think there's still a lot of work we need to do to make like lean clients like production ready. I guess like there's definitely going to be like some features from the beacon chain which are I would argue like we need regardless if we wanted to move to the lean chain. And one of those, I guess some of those would be like uh having a DevNet with like real EL clients running over the engine API, potentially like supporting blobs. I believe that would be required to like upgrade to lean. And then just a few other ones, which would probably be like fun if we have time, or potentially Reem can just like do it on its own, depending on like who's interested, is like ZKifying the STF for the lean chain. just doing some like research with that and seeing if like we could interop with that with other clients and then possibly start working on our syncing logic. Currently, all clients who implemented Lean, our current strategy is to just run all the nodes at once. I believe QLean has syncing logic, but other than that, I'm not sure what other clients do. But yeah, uh, yeah.
Yeah, so there is a PR in Zim for syncing through block by root. So we might get it soon. But we also need syncing from block by range to basically, go full throttle syncing. But I guess it's not necessary if we sort of always make sure that we use checkpoint sync from the last finalized. Then syncing by block by root is just fine enough, and to constrain our scope for so that we can focus on the things that matter. So I would not want to get distracted by other stuff. For DevNet 2, I think Lean VM non-recursive signature uh, proofing and verification was ready. I'm not sure. Can somebody just correct me over here?
I think you're right. It's quite ready. The person like you should talk to for everything related to Lean VM is definitely Emil. But yeah, from my side, that is ready. You can, if you have a doubt also, what you can check is on the Lean multisig repo, you have a performance benchmark on both like a Linux and MacBook Pro computers so that you can see approximately what are the performances at the day you look so that you can check approximately if this is the order of magnitude that you want to achieve. But I think that, yeah, this is ready right now if we don't talk about recursive aggregation. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Right.
really cool. I wasn't aware. So I guess we could speed run DevNet 2 then.
Yeah, let me
Quick.
send the link
Yeah.
there.
So Anshul from our team has already started working for it and basically has created a Python binding so that we can start using Lean VM in the Lean specs. And the idea is for DevNet 2, since there is no recursion proving verification. So what it really means is that only the attestations from that are basically propagated in the network as validated attestations, they can be packed again, they can be packed in a block. So basically you can't repack that aggregated signature, if I understand that there is no recursion. So with regard to that, basically what it means is that we will not import attestations in a block, which is not really a problem because all of the clients on every slot, they are voting, and latest votes would most likely be updated in a given healthy network. And so we can just use the network attestations to construct new block. So with regard to that, I think we can do DevNet 2, and we'll basically put for a spec PR on the same, where we can discuss on the.
Yeah, I agree on the bindings and what you are mentioning. Like to be honest, in the long run, I don't quite like the binding approach because this will put a mess in the Python spec, making things even more difficult. For example, to formally verify, to test properly. The fact also to have the Lean VM spec in a very light way in Python could be very helpful for people to understand as an educational tool, also for people to make fusing between the library in Python and the library in Rust, to do cross-testing, to have a light version of the Lean VM. So in the future, I think that we will have to spec in Python directly. There is no shortcut for that. But in the short term, I agree that yeah, if needed, we can use the binding, but I am never a big fan of binding stuff.
One piece of good news on signature aggregation is that Emil has made very significant strides on performance. So hashing is now extremely, extremely fast, as I said a few weeks ago, and now aggregation of XMSS is also extremely fast. So we're, I believe, over our target of 1,000 signatures per second on a laptop CPU. And I expect it to just keep on improving over the weeks to come. And recursion, we also have some very good numbers. I believe it was 120 milliseconds for the were part, which is just a subset of the recursion. But overall, it looks like we will reach the performance targets that we set ourselves. And part of that is because there's just been some new kind of low-hanging optimizations that were found in the proof system. And part of it due to the fact that we have this much more clean and modular way of handling precompiles, and we have a slightly different set of precompiles now.
Excellent. So, Colby, hearing all that, does that sort of alleviate the original concerns or feeling that maybe DevNet 2 would be blocked?
Yeah, I believe so. Thank you guys for all the context.
No, that's great. Any other, I know we've maybe kind of jumped around a little bit on the agenda schedule, but any other spec related updates this week? Or open PRs that you're hoping to get some comment or feedback on?
Sorry, you mentioned the spec. I didn't hear.
Oh, I was just giving another call for see if you had any discussion topics that you wanted to table that are related to spec updates, or if there's any PRs that you're looking for feedback on to if you're blocked in
Yeah,
on anything.
I can give a quick update on the spec. Last week we merged into the lean sig repo the SSZ serialization of the signature object, so the secret key, the public key, and the signature itself, so that now you can just use TLDR, you can just use 2 bytes and from bytes to serialize, deserialize, and it is directly in the proper SSZ format. So that is one new. Another one is that I adapted all this into the lean spec so that we remove the legacy code about doing strange serialization stuff, so that now we directly use SSE and we remove that. So the spec in Python is fully compliant with the lean sig repo. So that was a nice simplification. Also, I just merged this morning this PR about the test vector stuff in order to reduce the time of the test vector, because before, at the beginning of the test vector process, either when you run a single test or if you run like tens of tests, you had the key generation stuff, so a bunch of key generated, even if it is like a small config, you had to regenerate each time the keys. So if you run locally 10 times the test, then you will have 10 times key generation, and that was a bit of a nightmare because we don't have to do that. So I just created a small script that is attached to the Python spec, and via this script we can regenerate some private key, public key, so a key pair for any number of validators, let us say 4 or 6 or 10. And so at the beginning of the test, what we are just doing is that we are just looking at the JSON file and just deserialize the key pairs, so that we avoid completely the call to the key generation. making like the test vector like 2 times faster. I still have some stuff to optimize because this is still a bit slow, but yeah, this was a nice stuff to gain on testing time. And yeah, that was mainly it for the spec. Yeah. Also, as I mentioned on the Lean consensus, on the Lean call channel on Telegram, we have a bunch of work about fast finality and everything around this at the EF. And so I would love to see in 2026 how this is possible to integrate some of this work into the Python spec and being able maybe to run some DevNet with that. So it is not clear for now what will be the final design adopted by the consensus team at the EF. There are a bunch of research by theoretician guys. But yeah, that will be also an avenue of work to integrate like some clean and future algorithm into the Lean spec as well. Yeah.
Excellent. Any other spec related or research discussion topics? Any other blockers that people want to discuss to be able to get the long running DevNet 1 this week and start preparing for DevNet 2? Is there possible to create a high level document for DevNet 2?
Yeah, sure. I can propose one.
That'd be great. Thanks, Ed. Okay.
I may ask, maybe there are some open questions, at least from my side, but maybe some people have some ideas. Like if we be introducing the aggregation in DevNet 2, I think there are questions like whether we're going to have like a single aggregator or multiple aggregators. Then if there are multiple aggregators, like there will be questions like at which point they should aggregate. I mean, whether they should wait some particular certain number of signatures or a certain kind of time during the slot when they should start aggregating. Yeah, I'm not sure if someone already was thinking about this or this is still kind of like an open question, like number of aggregators that we're gonna have. I believe there was like ideas in the past that we're gonna have like 10% of all nodes being aggregators. On the other side, in existing Ethereum, we're gonna have like something like 3 aggregators. Or for simplicity, we just want to start with a single aggregator. Yeah, if someone have any ideas, yeah, maybe we could discuss at some point.
Yeah, so for DevNet 2, I was thinking that the block proposer will be the aggregator, and then we can basically open it up to bring in aggregator role as such and have more aggregators. I think if we have more aggregators, then we basically need recursion at that point. But even without recursion, we can basically pack multiple signatures like we do right now. So depending upon whether Lean VM is ready at that point, when we bring in more aggregators, we can decide for one final aggregated signature or multiple aggregated signatures. But yes, I think once we are DevNet 2 interop, once we achieve DevNet 2 interop, then we can start to bring in the aggregator role.
If it is a block proposer and he is the aggregator, is he creates an aggregation kind of like in the beginning of the slot or before the beginning of the slot? Because if it is the beginning of the slot, according to the latest number, if you have, for example, something like, I don't know, the aggregation rate of 1,000 signature per second, then we will spend like first entire second just to aggregation. Whereas kind of at the end of the first second, we should already kind of create the votes. So we kind of have the first second to propagate the block. So we shouldn't be spending time for aggregation for that. So
Yes.
the proposer should be doing this before the slot, I believe.
Yes. Right. So basically, the reason proposer will do aggregation in DevNet2 is basically the scope will be limited, and it basically will. So there is a single point where aggregation will happen and things will be pretty straightforward. In that sense, to change the spec or to verify everything is going on fine in the. But yes, as basically we'll try to go beyond 100 nodes, then basically we'll start seeing the performance issue that you have mentioned, and that is when we should be bringing out the aggregator role. So block proposer doing aggregation is just like a step into the next thing, which is where we have these aggregator roles. So maybe DevNet 2.5 or DevNet 3, we can have DevNet 3 with the aggregator roles and have specialized aggregators over there.
Yeah, okay. I think we can discuss this once we have, I don't know, any kind of draft of the specification, like who and when actually aggregates.
Any other remaining discussion topics? Okay. Good call, everyone. Look forward to seeing the long-running, day-long DevNet 1 here shortly, and I'll see you again next Wednesday.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.